And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Flashback Comics and Games here in Woodbridge, Virginia. I am Troy David Phillips, proudly sporting my Captain America shield, and I have given the call, Avengers Assemble! And hey, look, Kevin showed up. On cue, back from the San Diego Comic-Con, ladies and gentlemen, is my partner in crime, Kevin Gaussoin. So happy to have Kevin back. I know you guys have missed us for a couple of weeks. We haven't done the top fives. You've been wondering, what comic should I be buying? What should I be getting? Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, calm down.
Worry
Keep
no
calm
more.
And follow the top five. And here we are with the top five. Kevin.
Yes.
I know you've been gone to San Diego Comic-Con. I know you are inundated with San Diego Comic-Con awesomeness. I kind of need you to get behind some comics. Can you do that for me?
We can. For all of part one, we're gonna talk all about comics and not talk about San Diego Comic-Con and all the wonderful things we did and all the people we saw. And I'm not gonna tell you yet. You gotta wait. You gotta scroll down and go to part two.
You told me it was the most terrible time of your life, and it was good that I didn't go, and you're happy that I wasn't there to be disappointed.
I was just happy you weren't there.
Oh!
We don't want Big Daddy Troy to ruin our fun, because me and Marc and everybody else had a great time.
Oh.
Actually, Troy would really enjoy it, and I hope that I hope you one day go with us, because it is amazing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, so Kevin.
Troy.
We had comics all over the place the last couple of weeks since you've been here. We have had, among other things, the new Godzilla in Hell, #1.
Okay.
Everybody knows how much I love Godzilla.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that I've been jazzed on the IDW series, which ended at issue 25. Big, square-bound, beautiful thing. But then Godzilla #1, a book with no dialogue. The titular creature in hell, and man, it was awesome. I still have first print copies of Godzilla in Hell #1, so if you missed it, you need this. Kevin, you need this.
Uh-oh, it's probably already in my box, isn't it?
There are things in your box because I know that you don't like to miss out on the awesomeness.
You care for me, Troy.
I do.
That's why. See, Troy is one of these guys, one of these comic shop people that will take such good care of you that, like, oh, maybe you go out to San Diego Comic-Con, or maybe, you know, it's Christmas and you go off. Troy is still here, and he is still taking care of your box and still taking care of your best interest. And if he sees something like, oh, I know this person would like that, Troy's put it in your box already. You don't even have to worry about it. In most cases. I mean, you know, he's not, you know, he doesn't have a completely working crystal ball, but realistically speaking, he's probably
I try my hardest. Yeah. I try my hardest. And so, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we talk about the wonderful subscription service here at Flashback Comics and Games. Let me just tell you, you get 25% off on your new books. So you tell me to put something in your box. Hey, I'm subbed up to all the new DC #1s. I want Martian Manhunter and Dr. Fate and JLA 3001, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you get 25% off. But maybe you want to try Cyborg #1 and you didn't put it on your box. You still get 25% off. Maybe you've missed out on some things. You know what? I came into the New 52 late, and I need Batman Volume 1, Night of the Owls. Okay, on your trade paperback collections, hardcovers, softcovers, graphic novels, you get 25% off. Did you see the Avengers Rage of Ultron original graphic novel? No? Well, I have them, and you can get 25% off. Did you see the Grant Morrison Dinosaurs vs. Aliens, which is amazing? No? Well, you could pick that up here as a subscriber and get 25% off, etc., etc. Supplies. Bags, boards, boxes, dividers, shells, top loaders, mylars. You need those things to protect your comics.
It's true.
You know? And I have those things. And you can get those things at 25% off. You get 25% off on virtually everything except the back issues, but I will look out for you in terms of back issues. I'm very negotiable in terms of prices on things that we put up on the wall. So you want to take a book down, you want to negotiate with me on it, you see a book and it's $25, you're like, I would do 20. Okay, I'm willing to talk to you about the book. Let's talk about the book, whatever that book might be. And we'll meet in the middle on it. So 25% off. You got that? new books, supplies, trade paperbacks, back issues. That's a subscription service. I put the books in your box, you pick them up.
What about the toys and all this other stuff that we see?
I give people the best discount available to me. Now, a lot of that depends on what they cost me from Diamond, because I don't get the same deep discount on every
Not always
one.
The margin on plastic, is there?
Yeah, so on the action figures, on the statues, on some of the collectibles, etc. But I will give you the best that I can give you on those, whatever they happen to be. So if you're looking for your Trinity War, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Kevin already has this set, so it's in the wall of Kevin Gaussoin awesomeness. Kevin has a 7-bedroom house. 2 rooms are completely devoted to his comic collection, his action figures, his original art pages.
That's future Kevin.
Kevin has at least 50 pages of original Jack Kirby artwork.
That's where I've won the lotto and did some sort of age regression. They call me Comic Lad, and I'm in the 31st century.
Hey, Kevin, check this out. Arkham Origins, the Joker as Red Hood and Copperhead, an unmasked variant of Deathstroke Terminator.
You know, one of these days I'm going to play those games.
You should. You really should.
I played a little bit of the first one, but that's it.
Now, we were talking about comics, and then we got side-railed on everything else. Let's talk about some comics.
Let's talk about this week's Top 5.
This week's Top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming back. We're glad to be here. We're all very, very excited. And Captain America here. So, boom.
Boom.
First off, Image Comics, new #1. A lot of #1s drop from Image Comics. They put a lot of stuff out there, and if you're a fan of Image Comics, you've probably picked up on things like Outcast and Witches, similar supernaturally themed books. Well, here's one with a bit of a twist to it. If you're a fan of Zero by Alex Cott, I strenuously recommend you pick this book up. Kevin also put this one. We're sharing my #1 pick, which is Wolf by Image Comics. Okay, Wolf #1 is rated M for mature, so mature readers only, please. Yeah, Kevin, give him a little bit of that interior. Antoine Wolf, a hard-boiled paranormal detective with a death wish, has to cope with a sudden responsibility for an orphaned teenage girl who might be the key to impending apocalypse, California style.
That means it's got some French fries in it. There might be some guacamole involved. I'm not sure.
Also featured a bag full of cash, a serial killer on the loose, and many secrets. The writer of Zero and Secret Avengers, Alex Cott, in Wolf. This is definitely a wonderful, cerebral read. So if you like something that will make your mind jump around, read this, pay close attention. It's $4.99. It's the cover price. It's a little bit thicker than your average Image book.
Or a lot. Look, this is thick. There's a lot of pages.
I like the Cthulhu guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a Cthulhu guy.
So, Wolf, #1 from Image Comics. Now, I'm kicking along. Kevin and I, we actually had this in our picks together. So, and it's unusual because it's a DC book. From DC Comics this week, #1, finally, ladies and gentlemen, Cyborg #1. Okay, so here we have Victor Stone. You've loved him in the New 52 Justice League. If you're a fan like me from way back, you remember Victor Stone when he was a member of the New Teen Titans and most iterations of the Titans since then. Here he is doing his thing. I very recently was enjoying Victor Stone, Cyborg, in the pages of Brian Hitch's Justice League of America, JLA. So I am jazzed to get behind the man inside the machine here. Cyborg is actually one of my favorite characters in the game Injustice as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that you posting recently on Facebook about playing Injustice.
Yeah. Hawkgirl is still my #1 character, but Cyborg and Nightwing and the Flash and a couple of others are right in the block of characters behind that. So Cyborg, ladies and gentlemen, check that one out. DC has been dropping a lot of really good number ones lately, and their number ones are rolling into their number twos. Maybe you followed Dr. Fate. Maybe you followed Martian Manhunter. Maybe you've picked up Prez. Prez number 2 also drops this week. I didn't put it in my top 5, but the Prez book was also quite good, so let me go ahead and drop a recommendation for that.
You know, back when I saw him in Vertigo Comics back in the 90s,
yeah.
I thought, oh, that's a cool idea. Prez, the teenage president. That'd be awesome. And now I'm, let's just say, well beyond my teenage years, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a horrible idea.
What Kevin probably has forgotten is that Prez is actually a character from the Bronze Age of DC Comics, the 1970s. And again, the book was predicated on some biting social commentary, a little bit of satire, and it hasn't lost those steps. Now, obviously, time has marched on, and the way that we bite into social satire is a little bit different, but hey, Prez is definitely a book worth checking out. Skipping right along here merrily, so Cyborg number 1. Mm-hmm. I am now jumping over to IDW with Winterworld, The Frozen Fleet. Okay, I was a big fan of Winterworld back in the 1980s. The idea of a World War III post-apocalypse, everything is frozen, soldiers disconnected from their army lines, the military bases, etc. Winterworld was a great book back then. Chuck Dixon, it was one of the 4 wins. Books that came out under that line from Scout. Eclipse Comics had that whole thing.
Oh, right.
Team Yankee was another one of their books.
Yeah.
The Tankers.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, and that's rolled into IDW now.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
So what we have here is yet again Chuck Dixon taking the core concepts and going forward with them. So we have our winter-covered world, and we have our main characters struggling for survival, pockets of humanity, some protagonist, some antagonistic. They have found literally a fleet landlocked in the ice. There are sailors that have completely lost their grip on sanity. They acknowledge the girl as captain, and we're stuck. We don't know what to do with these people. Their ship has just been attacked.
You know that happened in like a Marvel related universe recently, and all it took was an act of true love, and then and Elsa turned everything back into springtime again, and it was cool. So in a Marvel, it wouldn't even maybe 2 issues, but 3 issues we get with IDW, so it's good.
Yeah, and you know what? True love is not thawing out the world here. So Winterworld, Frozen Fleet, issue number 3, ladies and gentlemen. If you hadn't been checking out Winterworld, you should definitely do that. Pick up the previous story arc. It's Chuck Dixon writing. If you're not familiar with the work of Chuck Dixon, come into the store and talk to me, and I will happily sing his praises.
Sounds familiar. Why am I not remembering who Chuck Dixon is?
He also wrote Johnny Quest.
Oh, all right, there you go.
He did, he's done a bunch of stuff. I first became aware of his work in the 1980s, and I'm still a fan of his work today.
Nice.
So, kicking along here, I'm skipping back over to DC Comics, this time with Justice League, Gods and Monsters. The Batman issue is out, ladies and gentlemen.
So ComicsOnline spoke with a few of the voice actors in the new Justice League original animated feature, Gods and Monsters, including Will Friedle of Boy Meets World, etc. We're going to have a whole lot more coming from San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, did I say I was not going to talk about it? Anyway, Gods and Monsters, here you go.
Yes, indeed. So J.M. DeMatteis and Bruce Timm, I see talent on this book. I have high hopes for it. And Justice League with Batman. So don't delay, don't hesitate. I suspect this thing is not going to last long on my shelves, ladies and gentlemen. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Get in here. Lastly, my number 5 this week. I'm a huge fan of the Amazon Made of Might. I'm talking about Wonder Woman.
And this week we've got 2. We not only have Wonder Woman, but we've got Sensation Comics starring Wonder Woman.
Yes, and I almost also picked Sensation Comics, but I did want to spotlight Wolf. I did want to spotlight Cyborg. And I, again, am such a runaway fan
It's a great week for Wonder Woman.
Oh, man, of Winterworld. Yes, indeed. Fans of Wonder Woman. Okay, Meredith Finch, David Finch, continuing to advance the story along. post-Convergence now. This is the second issue since the Convergence event, and we have Wonder Woman in her new costume. That's a little bit of, it's beautiful. It's a little bit of the David Finch artwork there. David Finch is a very talented artist, and he and his wife Meredith together are crafting a wonderful book. So if you haven't picked up Wonder Woman, let me give you a little bit of insight, that the Wonder Woman character, as you see her here, is also chronologically tied to the Superman Wonder Woman series. So if you're a Superman fan and you're reading Superman and Action and Superman Wonder Woman, you could pick up Wonder Woman and continue on with her. Now, if you're looking at Justice League, JL, by Jeff Johns, you're getting the Darkseid War, and that's their version of Wonder Woman. The Justice League of America, JLA, that's the Brian Hitch version, and that's a different, out-of-continuity Wonder Woman. It's a wonderful book, even if it's not tied into the same continuity, and it's the beauty of DC Comics right now. You could pick up all of this stuff, and it doesn't all necessarily have to fall into lockstep. You don't need to read both JL books. They're not directly crossed into each other. So you could pick the one you like, but if you like them both, just read them both and enjoy them for their own merits.
There you go. Different universes.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
So, Kevin.
So, one of my favorite universes these days is the whole Gestalt Secret Wars Battle World. Marvel, all the Marvel universes all together.
In the Marvel universe, there is only Secret Wars.
There is only Secret Wars right now, and it's all the universes are all on one planet these days.
Battle World,
and here we have Future Imperfect number.
Number three.
Number 3. Future Imperfect has been pretty good so far, and of course, Future Imperfect originally that Peter David book with the
with
Future
the Hulk, the Maestro.
The Maestro, and he let's get some good interior art. Don't want to get too spoilery. Here's some good art anyway.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic, and you're talking artwork by Greg Land. You're talking Peter David on the writing. So top-notch talent on the book. Maybe you've been reading Secret Wars, but you haven't followed along with Future Imperfect. I'd recommend picking it up. It's definitely a good one.
This is one of the books that along with the main book, I definitely recommend this. I definitely recommend Old Man Logan, which is my second pick. Old Man Logan, written, of course, by Brian Michael Bendis.
Who's he?
He does a few things for Marvel. That Bendis, he's a wacky guy. Anyhow, we've got the third issue of that here, and as you may remember, at the end of the second issue, Old Man Logan jumps the fence, from one domain to another, and then in this book, he's only in that domain for a few pages, and then he gets jumped into another domain.
Way to spoil there,
hopping
Kevin.
and skipping. Well, I mean, that doesn't really matter. I'm not giving away the details too much, but I have a feeling that he may be in a third domain he is in a third domain already by the end of this book. Not one that he wanted to be in. I'll tell you. I'll give you that little spoiler. Or that little hint, that little teaser.
That little teaser.
Oh.
Kevin is a little tease.
I'm a little tease. Anyway, Bendis, Sorrentino, and Maiolo doing the art. Sorrentino, kind of reminiscent of, what's his name? Kind of a Jay Lee sort of a look.
A little bit, yeah.
And
I like the texture.
Yeah, it got a lot of texture to it, so...
I'm definitely a fan.
Worth checking out. Like I say, I have a feeling that Old Man Logan is going to be where the direction, kind of the driving force, the impetus of fracturing this world into a new universe or new universes.
Well, we do know this. We will have Old Man Logan in the Marvel universe to come, the all-new, all-different Marvel universe.
Right.
So if you've checked out your preview magazines, which I still have here at Flashback, by the way, they are free, so come in, pick one up, and take a look at the first wave of number ones coming out. Old Man Logan is in that batch.
All right. This was not written by Robert Kirkman, but it is indeed Marvel Zombies, and this is an ongoing series in the Secret Wars Battle World series of serieses. And with this one, we explore a couple of characters walking across the barren wastes, trying to avoid the Marvel Zombies and the folks from the Negative Zone, and of course the
Annihilation Wave,
and the Ultrons.
The
Ultrons,
the Ultron Phalanx. So yes, indeed. Brian, I started to say Brian Michael Bendis, but no, Kirkman did not actually write all of the Marvel Zombies series.
That's true. He just started them out. The first two, I think.
I think so, yeah. And I think Fred Van Lente wrote at least one of them.
All right.
But yes, Marvel Zombies, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of good Secret Wars tie-in series. They are not all necessarily integral. You don't need to read everything to see where the story is going to go, but they are definitely tying in. They are helping to advance the story. So whatever it is you are picking up, got to make a big difference.
And for those of you who are bummed about, like, oh, I don't know, how long is this going to go on, right? How long is this whole battle world going to go on? And you're a little bit worried about it. Well, see, this comic, it gives you hope. Come on, that's good stuff. That's the best joke you're going to hear on this show today.
Maybe. The best joke you could have possibly heard was last night when I put up pictures of Ant-Man, and then that one picture of that panel from Archer. Do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants.
This is how you get ants. This is how you get ants.
This is how you get Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde, ladies and gentlemen.
Number one. Now, so obviously, Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde have had, Kitty Pryde has been a big part of the existing Star-Lord, I was going to say show. It's practically a show. It's, the existing Star-Lord ongoing series. I was going to say miniseries, but really it was an ongoing that just ended.
Yeah, in the pages of Star-Lord and in the pages of Guardians of the Galaxy, their relationship was certainly in the Black Vortex. I don't know what it is about Kitty Pryde and guys named Peter, whether it was Peter Rasputin Colossus or Peter Wisdom and now Peter Quill, but Kitty seems to like guys with the first name Peter. So if you're out there and your first name is Peter, you might have a chance with Kitty Pryde. Maybe.
So you got that going for you.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Singing a little bit of Little Mermaid is Peter Quill here today. I'm making a joke earlier about Marvel and Disney, but here he is singing Part of Your World. So
it's a good relationship.
So there's that. And it is a nice relationship. Much like, and the thing is, it's not like DC doesn't have that. If you look at DC, they've got a lot of crossover stuff that they can do. For example, while Marvel is with Disney, but DC, they've got Hanna-Barbera, and they've got a very deep run therein. Hanna-Barbera, we're going to talk a little Hanna-Barbera in part 2.
If you're a fan of Hanna-Barbera and DC Comics, incidentally, you might want to consider checking out the all-ages comics Scooby-Doo Team-Up, which has had a lot of DC crossovers, particularly Batman and Robin.
Jinkies. So, my fifth pick for this week is Enormous, Volume 2, Number 1. Now, on the inside, it says number 7. Well, that's because Volume 1 went 6 issues.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me about this first. I'm going to buy this, but I didn't read the first volume. Tell me about it.
I did, and I can tell you what. We have giant monsters. It's a giant monster apocalypse. It's like a plague of giant monsters, and they are not like Godzilla. Their analog is very, very different. They are devastating the world, and the story really is focused on the human survivors underneath the feet of these giant monsters.
It's the Torten Kakerlak.
The interior artwork in this book has been beautiful up to this point, and like I said, we get a lot of main focus on the characters and how they survive, moving from place to place, looking for loved ones. We don't have much in the way of an organized military, and much like in The Walking Dead, we have groups of people that just can't seem to pull together to face the common threat. So people being people, and not all people are good. Most people are good. I'm pretty good. Marc's a great guy. Kevin here, he's pretty good. But We're the people you want to look for in a zombie apocalypse.
It's true.
Other people, not so much.
Probably not. The three of us probably not going to exploit you and try to kill you, to try to hamstring you while the zombies attack. Probably not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I am, I tell you what, if I see Kevin take a stumble during the zombie apocalypse, I'm grabbing him by the arm and pulling him with me.
So that's my top. Oh, you have a +1, Troy.
I sort of have a +1.
Marc got you something.
I got a present at from the San Diego Comic-Con, and it is not available for sale here in the store, ladies and gentlemen, but it is happily going into my collection of comics. Right here from the CBCS Grading Company, an alternative to CGC. This is Avengers #1. Now, it's not the original 1963 Avengers #1, but it does feature reprinted art by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. It does feature the reprinted story from Stan Lee, a half-page ad for Captain America and Hawkeye #630. Yes, this is a great book. The Coming of the Avengers. I'm so happy with this. So very, very happy. A look at you.
We're just back from San Diego. And in part 2, we're going to talk all about San Diego and San Diego Comic-Con. Look at this. Supergirl's coming. Supergirl's coming. I got my Supergirl cape on. And I got my Vikings horn. And we'll talk all about Supergirl and Vikings and Stone Brewing Company. Why not?
Wait. You're at the San Diego Comic-Con. I thought the Vikings were a Minnesota team.
They are. They're a History Channel team. This particular team. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's a very little known fact that football is actually an invention of the gods of Asgard.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it is.
And where did you find this out?
Why else would the game feature Giants and Vikings in contention with each other?
And thanks, Troy. All right,
ladies and gentlemen, that was the part 1 show where you get the top 5. We talked an awful lot about comics. We talked about the top 5 and much more besides. Show ran a little bit longer than it normally does, but hey, we've been out of circulation for 2 weeks. So
season 15, episode 42.
Episode 42.
Is that right? I think we're 42. We'll figure it out and get back to you in just a minute.
Yes, indeed. So,
part 2, click on it.
We're going to go get some dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Take a break, have a potty break, have a sip of beer, whatever in the heck. Kevin is going to go up, and away. I have to go outside and get the Avengers to assemble. We'll see you in a little bit.
From leaping tall buildings to going off like gamma bombs. Switch your internet browser to ComicsOnline.com.